So, hey guys, all right, tonight is our Refresh Our Business, Finding Joy and Alignment in Our Success. And many of you guys know that I went on this Align retreat, and that is really what is kicking off this kind of September refresh. And whether you're new to the business, or maybe you've been doing this alongside me for the past 4 years, you may either have already felt this way or you're going to feel this way, because no job is unicorns and rainbows every single day, right? So in full transparency, and if some of you guys listened to Sarah Taylor's live about joy yesterday, some of it's going to be repetitive, but I have been in a place where I started to not like my Plexus business. I felt like a failure to myself and to every single one of you and everyone else that I've ever shared Plexus with on the team. And so I found myself starting to avoid things I didn't like, right? I started to not reach out to people like I used to. I started to not be as confident in that. And I started to avoid the hard things that I deemed as hard in my head, and found myself doing some mind-numbing things like scrolling or listening to podcasts, or not podcasts, videos. But then the negative headspace started to creep in, right? And so feel free to comment if you've ever been there, so I don't feel all alone. But I just came up from a retreat with about 84 other women who are all senior Ruby and above, and we've all felt this way. Once that negative headspace starts to come in and I started to tell myself that I wasn't a good leader, then I started finding things to back those negative thoughts up, right? Who else has done that? I'm no good at this, or I can't get anyone to silver, or I don't sign anyone. And then you start not signing people and not getting people to silver, and you're like, oh my goodness, it's true, I'm not good at this. But really, that's not true. That's a lie we tell ourselves. It's actually, I'm not signing anyone and I'm not getting anyone to silver because I'm in a funky headspace and I'm not actually trying, right? So I've learned some things, had some major breakthroughs, and some things that I can do better, some things that I want to teach you. And I'm asking you guys to trust me in sharing all of this new stuff with you, all right? There's going to be some awesome tools that I'm going to share about Plexus, specifically about the business, how to talk to people differently, some scripts to send to new people, how to get more people to silver, that sort of thing. But then also just finding joy again and realigning our success in this business so it makes us happy. Because I've been digging deep over the past couple of months, and I truly believe that, guys, we can be uber successful and fulfilled and not burned out, and that it's possible, but it's going to take some mindset work. It's going to take being intentional, setting and keeping our boundaries to ourselves, and then finding joy in building our businesses, or in my case, and many of your cases, finding joy in rebuilding our businesses. So what we're going to do over the next 90, 120 days, this isn't something that's going to happen overnight. It's not something where I'm going to just like vomit all of this stuff to you guys that are in these notebooks. We're going to renew our Plexus vows. Remember back in the beginning when we first started sharing Plexus? And hey, some of you guys are still on this high, and it's awesome. So this is going to help you not lose it. But some of us were on that honeymoon high, right? Where we're like, oh my goodness, this is great. And like, we just unabashedly shared. But then as someone quit, or maybe someone dropped below 100 PV, or maybe someone said something negative to us, or maybe we didn't hit a goal, we started to get out of that honeymoon phase. So I'm going to be totally transparent. I feel like I have something on my lip. I'm glad we're recording this. I feel like I have something. Oh, I'll mute everybody. Sorry. So I'm going to be totally transparent and share everything that I've been doing, and that's working. So tonight, though, if you are in a place where you have a piece of paper, you may want to get it out, because there are some things that we're going to do. You can do them tonight. I'm going to give you like a minute. Or if you're watching the recording, or if you want to do it later, you can do it. Sarah Taylor and I are going to refresh some things about our business. Her and I are actually meeting tomorrow for 2 hours to sketch it all out. So some of the stuff will be for Team Taylor, and then other things will be just for our awesome, awesome team. But I wanted to go ahead and get started tonight. I didn't want to waste any time. So the first thing I want all of us to do is drop the narrative that you tell yourself in your head. Some of these things, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not a planner. I'm not an organizer. I'm a procrastinator. I work better under pressure. Guys, I used to pride myself on being a procrastinator. And I would tell you, I work better under pressure. But guess what? Your business is a reflection of your life. So when your business feels unorganized and messy, then that means your life is unorganized and messy. And I can say that mine has been like that for several months, feeling like I was kind of flying by the seat of my pants, reaching out to people with no rhyme or reason, forgetting about people because I didn't have a good system to keep track of them and write their names down. But then also I would tell myself, well, that's okay because I work better under pressure. Well, that actually was me self-sabotaging and self-sabotaging my success because look, there are some just non-negotiables we have to do to be successful. And so for me, when I was unorganized or sleeping in or not making my bed, that is a reflection of my business. So if we want to step up our business, we need to drop that narrative of things we're not or things we don't want to be. And instead, we want to be intentional. Okay, we want to be intentional in whatever success looks like for us. And we're going to talk a little bit here in the next few months about what success is, because we're not going to tie it to a rank or a paycheck. We're going to tie your success to a feeling, and then we're going to get that feeling now, so then you can kind of manifest it into whatever that is that you guys want. But maybe you do want to get up earlier. Maybe you're thinking, okay, for me to be more intentional in my business, I do need to get up earlier. Maybe you need to get up 15 minutes earlier. Don't go crazy. Don't say you're going to get up at 5 if you're used to getting up at 8. Make it like 7:45, and let's start being intentional with our time and our business. Because if you find yourself only doing those mind-numbing tasks, you're afraid of something. You're avoiding something. And so when I would avoid reaching out to my dream teamer, it's because I'm afraid of rejection. I'm afraid of not knowing how to lead them well. And I'm afraid of that next level of success. And here over the next few months, we're going to dig into that and go through some things so we can kind of uncover that for everyone. But, you know, if you've ever found yourself not doing your IPA, think about why you're not doing that. Why do we self-sabotage? And for me, it was those fears I just mentioned. In fact, many of us don't realize it, but we have this fear of success and going to the next level because maybe you're in a headspace now where it's already not really fun, or you're already too busy and you feel like you don't have enough time in the day as it is. So what the heck will more success actually look like? What will that mean? And in your mind, you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to be even busier if I go to that next level. And then it may even be less fun. So we have this self-sabotage that we don't even realize, all right? But the number one sales strategy that I didn't actually know until I learned it from a sales expert, not a network marketing expert. But the number one sales strategy is actually increasing your self-love and your joy. Joy is actually the most magnetic energy there is. So if you want to have a successful business, we have to bring the joy back. And that is something that I know Sarah and I, for our teams, are determined to bring back again. But we want to start with this mindset, guys, of having kind of progress over perfection. And this really hit home to me. And I'm going to redo my office here and put that really big on a piece of paper, progress over perfection, because we get in our heads that we can't move forward unless we're perfect. We can't send a message to someone about Plexus unless we have the perfect message or the perfect script. I can't revamp the team page until I have all the units perfect as I want them, right? I can't exercise until I can commit to 5 days a week every single morning. But that perfection mindset causes us to self-sabotage because it's not realistic. Perfection is unattainable. So we want to be in that progress mindset, because progress is what's going to get us there, right? So those small steps every day. So the first thing I want you guys to do though, and you may have already done it if you listened to Sarah's live, if you haven't, I want you to write down your joy list. You have to find what brings you joy, because we cannot wait for Plexus, for a paycheck, for a relationship, for a marriage, for our kids, for the new pair of shoes we bought. We can't wait for anything to bring us joy. In fact, Preston said, if you are waiting for something external to bring you joy, then you are a victim. We actually are the creators of our own joy. Because how many people, and I've been there, you know, you aren't really finding joy, you're kind of stagnant, you're kind of stuck, and you think, oh man, if I can fit into those jeans, then I will be happy, right? And then you fit into those jeans and you're like, well, that wasn't it. Or if I get that promotion at work, then everything will be great. And you get the promotion and things aren't great. It's because we are the creators of our own joy. So I want you guys, either right now as you're listening to me, tonight before bed, in the morning if you have some quiet time, if you're going to get up 15 minutes earlier, I want you to write down your joy list. And this can be, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm going to share my joy list with you, because when you find these things that you can do throughout the day that bring you joy, then your business is going to be that much more successful. You know, a lot of times the story on the inside is what becomes the story on the outside, right? You've heard us say, like, act like the rank you want, right? Like, don't wait to become a jewel to start leading like a jewel. Do that now. And it's because that story that we tell ourselves in our head is what actually comes true. But it starts with joy. So let me share my joy list. And again, there's no right or wrong answer. The first few were really easy. Sarah Taylor and I actually did this together, and we knocked out like 5 or 6. And then it becomes hard to get 30. So I want you guys to write down, though, 30 things that bring you joy. So here's mine. Morning coffee, Adelaide cuddles, watching a trashy TV show, doing Legos, having a glass of wine, traveling, reading a trashy magazine. Now I see a theme here that trashy is on there twice. Taking a walk, having a dance party in the kitchen, a made bed, a cozy office, new pajamas, Target trips with Adelaide, early morning quiet time before anybody wakes up and I turn on a screen, family movie night, family game night, good smelling candles, Steve's cologne, getting a new hairstyle, organizing a space, sitting down and writing in my planner, being at the beach or around water, coloring, doing diamond art. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but bare feet in the grass, sunshine, fall smells, and coffee cake. Those are all things that bring me joy. So what I'm doing now, what I found myself doing, is making sure that I am focused on those things first to bring me joy and planning them in my day before I get into my business stuff, in my business tasks, and before I schedule my business tasks. Because I found myself, especially when you have a couple hours a day, feeling like all 2 hours, I need to be working. I need to be doing IPA. I need to be messaging people, following up, checking the team page, on a team call. And I wasn't doing any of this joy, right? So then I started to resent Plexus, resent working, when it wasn't Plexus or my business that was the problem. It was me. I let my joy take a back seat, and I stopped finding joy in everyday things. Some simple things I've done. New pajamas bring me joy. Because I work from home a lot and I'm in pajamas when I work in the morning, then guess what? I bought new pajamas. So I'll be more productive when I'm doing my business. I'm setting my office up. I got a nice new whiteboard. I got some new candles. These are things that will bring me joy as I'm working my business. So I want you guys to make your joy list, write it down, write it out so you see it, and put it somewhere, because The other thing this joy list does, as you look at your day, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys over the next month or so some tools and some great to-do lists. Like this is a to-do list that schedules your day, and it has a place for your joy zone where you're going to do things for joy. You're going to do stuff. If you're a mom, it's got mom life. If you're a dad, it's got dad life. And then it has business things in there too, but we're going to be intentional. And then we're going to figure out what are those non-negotiables for your joy and what are the non-negotiables for your business, right? There are things we have to do every day if we want to be successful, right? If those non-negotiables make you excited and energized, like if you just love reaching out to people, that's awesome. But if you don't, then you're going to want to do something that brings you joy to get you in that energized state before you start reaching out, before you start doing those things. Okay, now I'm seeing your chats. I love it. What about vodka? Girl, I have vodka should be on there. Good vodka top cocktail in the summer. And colored pens. You're right. See, you guys know my joy list more than I did. In fact, I am writing that on there. Vodka, colored erasable pens. But it's really important, guys, because we lose our joy and then we blame our business, and it's not fair to our business because our business is such an incredible gift to ourselves and other people. I've never seen anything like it. So we do not want to get in that space where we're blaming the business for, Mimi's trying to FaceTime the kiddo. It's going to keep ringing. Sorry, guys, it rings on all my devices. I have got to get my kid set up with her own Apple ID. I'm going to have to yell out the window. Please, somebody answer it. Decline me. Okay, and so that you are the creator of your own joy. Not anyone else, not something else, not a rank, not a job, not a relationship. You are the creator of your own joy. And the beliefs, guys, that you have about yourself and about your business, they're just the thoughts you keep telling yourself. So what are your thought loops? When you find yourself thinking those thoughts, I want you to write them down on a piece of paper, and I want you to let your purpose run the show, not your emotions. So we're going to get back to that honeymoon phase, right? Oh, hang on a minute. Text. Sorry, guys. Text Steve. I'm on a call. It's ringing on my laptop. Work from home right here, guys. You're getting it all the transparency. Okay. So I want you to get back to that value of joy and attaching that to things you love, not necessarily attaching to Plexus. I want to read you something. And this was a huge eye-opener for me, and I was like, oh my goodness, yes, I've gotten down this rabbit hole of negativity and forgotten this, that my value and my purpose, guys, it's not attached to Plexus. I know some people are like, what? Wait, no, you're like the Plexus person. You're like, you're the one that brought us in. What do you mean? Plexus is not my value and my purpose. Plexus is the vehicle through which I get to share my value and my purpose with all of you and with everyone I meet, right? It's the vehicle to making my dreams come true and sharing my gifts and helping your dreams come true, but it's not the actual purpose. And we put too much responsibility, I think, on our business, and we don't hold ourselves accountable. Plexus is an incredible tool that can give us health freedom. All of you guys on the call have had it. And financial freedom. Think of all that you guys have had just in working your business, right? Financially, if you've gotten $1 in a Plexus paycheck, that's more than you made before Plexus, right? But the other thing too is ranks don't matter. So often we tie our success and our value to a rank. I certainly have done that. and I went down the rabbit hole. So I tied success to diamond. And then I went down the rabbit hole of, well, I'm not diamond, so that must mean I'm not good at this. I'm not a good leader. People don't want to do this with me. I'm not going to be successful. When in reality, guys, that's so silly because I have been successful and people do want to do this with me. So I want you guys to think about what you have attached to that rank, and I want you to get rid of it. Especially if you are someone who thinks jewels. I've heard, people before say, oh my goodness, like I'm so different than the jewels. The jewels are so different. Whether you think the jewels are like Celeste Gwynn, which we're not at all, or you think, jewels all have a certain luck or a certain background. I want to tell you that ranks do not matter. There are people that are silver, that are debt-free. There are double diamonds that are struggling financially, right? Plexus is a tool. Our business is a tool, but it doesn't guarantee how we use it. There are people that are diamonds that are still struggling with major health issue because they're not utilizing their tool of Plexus products like they should, right? Whereas there's some golds that have incredible health testimonies and are using the tool of Plexus as they should. So I just want you guys to separate kind of that value because it also means that it's not Plexus or our business that takes time away from our kids or our spouse, right? It's not. It's the choices that we make for ourselves. So when I am in a season and I'm working and my boundaries are non-existent, and Steve or Adelaide would say, you're working too much, that's me. That's not my business, okay? Because we can find examples across the board of people who keep their boundaries and are successful. So I just want us to kind of separate that it's not your purpose. It is a vehicle for you to share your purpose or for you to utilize whatever your purpose is. And when I had that realization, I was like, oh my goodness, yes, bring the joy back. I freaking love this business. We are going to fall in love again with rebuilding our businesses. And look, one thing I learned at this retreat, we don't need a ton of people, guys. Brooke Hemingway, she's a double diamond. I mean, she hit it twice. Her husband's a sapphire. Anybody want to guess how many business builders she has in her level ones? How many people in her level one are ranking and working the business with her? Anybody want to guess? You can chat it in there. Ooh, close, Caitlin. Caitlin said 3. Yeah, she has 5. That's it. So she's a double diamond and her husband's a sapphire, and she has 5 business builders. That's it. In fact, guys, to get to emerald, you only need 15 golds on your whole team. But I think sometimes we get in our head, right, that we need all of these people. We're looking for that rock star when really we've got the people right in front of us and we're just going to lock arms and do this together. So that's how we're going to fall in love with rebuilding our businesses again and setting a new normal where we're looking at progress, not perfection. And I don't want anyone to put a cap on themselves. It doesn't matter what your goal is, but when you put a cap on yourself and think, well, maybe I can't recruit anymore. Maybe this is the team I'm supposed to have, or maybe I'm just always supposed to be gold. When you put a cap on yourself, you put a cap on everyone else around you, guys. So one thing I want you guys to do is I want you to set your goal of whatever that is. Typically it's financially. If your goal is a financial goal of how much you want to make in a year, I want you to double it, because it's only our limiting beliefs that keep us playing small, and it benefits no one, right? So you can be happy and content and still want more. In fact, progress is it's kind of the purpose of the universe, right? We're supposed to be progressing, and the power of abundance is how we bless other people. So I don't want you guys to play small. One of the quotes that somebody said at this retreat, and I loved it, I wrote it down, I'm going to hang it on the wall. It says, God didn't make Formica, he made granite. In other words, a lot of times people have a fear of looking prideful if we set sales goals or talk about our paychecks, or if we say out loud we want to make $10,000 in a month. it's not a poverty mindset. I think it's a fear of looking prideful. But guys, that's how we bless other people, right? And if we're not open to receive that abundance, then people who are looking for us, we're not going to be able to receive them either. Okay. So I want you guys to write down, and again, you don't have to share it, but do your joy list. And then I want you to write down what your goal is. And I want you to double that goal. Because I don't want us to be capping ourselves at all, right? We can be happy. We can say thank you for what we have, and then we can say more, please, okay? The other thing I want you guys to do, and it's going to take a couple of minutes. I want you're going to write 2 stories, and I can share with you mine. I want you, especially if you've been feeling kind of in a funk or kind of stuck, I want you to write your story as if you hadn't shown up in Plexus, okay? So I want you to write, if I hadn't shown up, and I'm going to share mine, and then I want you to thank yourself for showing up in your Plexus business, because I know I've said it myself. I've heard you guys say it like, oh man, I've been gold, or, I've been gold for 3 years. Like, oh man, I'm like, suck. I'm terrible. I haven't hit my rank. Guys, write this story, okay? Here's my story if I hadn't shown up for Plexus. I'd be lonely. My circle would have stayed small. We never would have had the RV trip. I'd be grumpy in a commute and unhappy. I'd only see Adelaide about 3 hours a night. I would not be a present mom. So many people would still be sick. So many people would still be without a paycheck. Adelaide would never know how to dream big or have a growth mindset. Now, I was on a time crunch. Now that I'm talking, I could go on and on. So I want you guys to write your story. Again, you can do it after this call of if I hadn't shown up, and then I want you guys to thank yourself for showing up to your Plexus business. Then you guys are going to write your new story. Right. Whatever fear story is that you've been telling yourself when you're in that funk, I want you to write it down, and then I want you to rip it up, okay? My fear story is that I'm not a good leader. I'll never rank again. No one will join me. I can't get people to silver, and I'm not good at relationships. That's my fear story. So we have to let it go, and we have to realize that's not the reality. So then you're going to write your new story, right? And because what we think, guys, is what we believe. So you got your joy list. You're going to write your old funky, if I hadn't shown up, and your fear story, and then you're going to write your new story, okay? And then you're going to keep that, and you're going to have that on your wall. Oh, sorry. I'm just now seeing your chats. Yeah, so if your goal is diamonds, then you want to make it double diamond and double your goals. If your goal is to make $500 a month, you're going to make it $1,000 a month. In fact, you're going to make it even bigger than that. The fear story, and again, I'm going to share all this on the team page with you guys once I have to get the files. I only have it right now in a notebook. The fear story is what you tell yourself in your head, okay? So for me, my fear story was tied to a rank, not hitting diamond. And so what do I tell myself because I didn't hit diamond? I tell myself, I'm not a good leader. I'll never make diamond. No one will join me. I can't even get people to silver. I can't help my team rank. I'm no good at relationships, okay? That's the story I tell myself. So then you're going to write your new story. When you take that negativity out of that fear story. And so my new story is, I am a good leader. I do show up. I follow through. People can't wait to be on my team. I'm not flying by the seat of my pants anymore. I even added in there that my marriage is connected. Like I feel connected, right, in my marriage. So write your new story, because what we are going to start having in our head is what we're going to create, okay? And it's, again, all going to be attached to that joy list. And then the other thing that we're going to be talking a lot about, and again, not just on this call, talking over the next, like I said, 90, 120 days, is chaos management, okay? You can call it time management. We can't really manage time. We get a set amount of time that we can't manage it, right? We all get the same amount of time. But the chaos that's in it we can schedule, we can time block, we can make that plan, but we have to go back to that joy list and make sure we are scheduling that, because I am a testament of being so goal driven that I feel like if I have 2 hours in my day, those 2 hours have to be Plexus. And I skip my working out. I skip going out for fresh air. I skip a trashy magazine because I have so much to do connected to that success, when really my success, when I think about it, is loving on people, feeling connected to you guys, and bringing joy in my business. So if that means, taking 15 minutes on my joy list and then only working for 30, then that's what that means. Because we're going to connect that joy, guys, with our chaos management and our time blocking. I've got some great daily sheets that I am going to, I've asked them for this file. As soon as they send it, I'm going to share it. You guys can print it out if you want. And then also for that chaos management. So here's what I've started doing. On Sunday nights, I brain dump. I brain dump everything that needs done. I'm talking all Plexus stuff, all personal stuff, appointments, taxes, going to the grocery, like everything that needs done, I brain dump it. And then for the week, I decide when I'm going to do those things, whether it's organize the pantry or do my IPA. And I'm scheduling that. Now, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, oh, I'm not a scheduler, I'm not a planner, or I can't do that, my days are too crazy, you need to change that narrative, because you can be a planner, you can time block things. It doesn't have to have every hour of every day scheduled. But here's kind of my new goal and something I've talked to the family about. One, my family sees me not work. I want them to see me not working, not on my phone, right? But I also want my family to see me work, and I don't want to be ashamed of it, okay? That's why time blocking and having those boundaries is so key. And I certainly have been in a rut where, every night, if somebody wants me to do a training call or a Zoom or a message or anything, I'll do it. I didn't take any nights off. But then I realized that's affecting my joy list, okay? So you need to set your boundaries. And if you're in a season, there's certainly going to be seasons where you're going to work harder, but you don't want to be ashamed of it. And you don't want that value attached to it, right? So kind of meet with your shareholders, let them know what your work schedule is going to be. One thing I started doing, and once we're in a good routine, Adelaide still has a couple of classes that we haven't figured out yet, but I told Adelaide that when, you're in kindergarten now, mommy's going to work really hard during the day while you're at school. Then when I pick you up from school, it's no phone time for mommy, and it's Adelaide mommy time. Okay. But then a couple nights a week, because I want to work my business, I want to be connected to you guys, I want to do more calls. A couple nights a week, I am going to leave open for Plexus for stuff like this. Okay. So make that weekly plan and sketch it out, but then stick to it, okay? And put time in there. Don't time block 3 hours of Plexus time. Time block joy in there. Time block breaks. Write it in there. Don't think it's silly if you have to put in there 15-minute walk around the block, but then hold yourself accountable to those boundaries, right? So you guys notice when Sarah and I were both at that Align retreat, I wanted to be 100% present, because I wanted to get out everything I could. So I did not check messages. There were a few times where we had an hour break. And in fact, we had just gotten out of a pretty heavy session with lots of tears and lots of breakthroughs. And her and I walked outside, and I was like, oh man, I feel like I should be working right now and catching up on messages, but I feel like I just need a mental break. And so I'm not even going to pick my phone up. That was hard for me to keep that boundary, because I wanted to check in with all you guys and check in on the messages, but that was a boundary I had to keep for myself. So you guys, it's not Plexus, right, that makes us feel burned out. It's because we don't hold those boundaries to ourselves. So for me, by brain dumping every Sunday, that's just a good night. We kind of have a family meeting here because we're living with other people. We go through all the things for the week, everything from like, what's the menu? Who's going to do the grocery shopping, right? All that. And then I'm time blocking those things. So I was getting into a habit where I would dump my whole to-do list, but then I'd try to get it all done on Monday, which is crazy. And then I would feel bad, and then I wouldn't get anything done because I'm an all or nothing person, right? If I can't do all of it, then I'm not going to do any of it, which is so silly. It's that self-sabotage I talked about. So if I schedule things throughout the week, and let's say I know that I'm going to organize the pantry on Thursday, then I'm not going to worry about it on Monday. And it just makes the week go that much better. And it makes me have joy in my business because I don't feel like I'm behind and I don't feel like I'm failing. The power of those habits and those rituals will actually recenter you when you're in times of high stress. So if you are going for a big goal, or your schedule is chaotic with your family, or, I saw Amy today, she's got like an hour drive to take all the kids to swim and all the things. She's doing carpool. But when you have those habits and those rituals and those boundaries and time block, it's going to center you. You're not going to feel more chaotic in times of stress. And that's because your business will be a reflection of your life. So I am excited to get back to working with purpose, to finding that fire again, and to share all of this stuff with you. It's going to be a series of things. It's not going to be every single night. It's going to be a series of trainings, a series of calls. We have some great mindset makeovers, but we also have rank planning that I'm really excited that, when they started talking about this super simple rank plan, Sarah and I looked at each other, we're like, oh my goodness, that's stuff we used to do back in 2015 and 2016. It's so easy. For some reason, we quit doing it. So we're excited to bring that back. We've got some really great, refreshing ideas from Brooke Hemingway on just how to, talking to people about silver. And now that I found my joy again, I am just gonna hopefully bleed all that out to you guys, or I don't know, make it contagious for all of you guys. But write your joy list, write your what if I hadn't shown up story. Okay, what if you hadn't shown up in Plexus? If you want to share those later with me in a private message, feel free, but write it out. Don't just put it in your head. You want to see it on paper. When you start feeling like, I don't want to call anybody out, but if you're like, man, I should be gold, daggone it, I stink, or I did stuff wrong. Stop telling yourself that. Look at all of the things you have done and write that down. What if you hadn't shown up to Plexus, right? Write it all out. Everything from you wouldn't be pooping to you wouldn't have met your best friend to you wouldn't be living where you're at, like whatever it is, all the things, write out, what if I hadn't shown up? And then we are going to attach that to our new stories. And then guess what? We're all going to be living our new stories here in the next 90 to 120 days. Now, this is stuff we're going to do on the team page. It's going to be on calls. For people who want to rank plan in the next 90 days, we are going to do separate calls. I'm actually going to start doing bi-weekly calls. Brooke calls them her top 4%ers, but it's the people, you guys who really, really are like, yes, I want to lock arms, Amy. I want us to do 30-minute power hours. I want us to share messages. I want us, Nicole, we had talked about Allie. I don't think Allie's on tonight, but we had talked about that kind of being transparent, locking arms. I'm going to start bi-weekly calls, but it won't be until October. I didn't want to do weekly. Yes, you can be gold this month, but just look for some new refreshing things coming, simple, bringing joy, and it really is going to be perfect timing because listen, guys, once that hemp launches, it is going to be huge. I'm getting nothing, except for some people whose don't taste like strawberry. I got another text this morning from somebody who's like, oh my goodness, I've tried all the hemp. This stuff is amazing. So yes, if you guys are going to rank, so Sarah and I are going to meet tomorrow. Be looking for messages. I'll probably message all of you guys individually. I'll be looking through my reports. We're going to start sharing with you guys how we run reports, send your reports. Like, we're just so, so excited. But I'm excited to bring my joy back. And yes, Nicole, when you don't attach your joy to your success and realize you can have joy every single day And that joy that you find every single day is going to make you more successful. And if, like for me, my joy is doing Legos with Adelaide, I need to not feel guilty about it because I'm not, unless my parents again, because I'm not working, right? But because I'm bringing joy in those other places, I'm still finding time to do work. It's not that I'm not working at all. You just make that disconnect. So I'm really excited. Jamie, make your joy list, write your what if I hadn't shown up list, and then we'll get into our news stories, all right? Thanks for hanging with me tonight, guys. Love you guys.